Hey y'all, this is your girl That Tijuana, and welcome to the That Tijuana Show.
Tijuana Show, coming from the metro. Ready or not, here we go. With information so you know. Politics, event review, entertainment, metro news. If I can watch.
Today we're talking in defense of critics, in defense of reviewers. You know, the people that go to restaurants and go to shows and movies and plays and read books in advance and come to you and tell you about them. Sometimes they have good things to say, rave reviews. Other times it's not quite so good. So today, that's why I'm coming to talk to you about. We're talking about Mr. Pete Wells with the New York Times, who wrote what some people describe as a scathing review of Guy Fieri's American Kitchen and Bar in Times Square. Well, that has been all over the news this week because people really thought that Mr. Pete Wells was really too harsh. The way that he wrote his review was absolutely sarcastic. And it just painted such a negative picture of the restaurant. Well, from a writer's standpoint, and I am a writer at heart, from a writer's standpoint, I thought the article was absolutely fabulous. The way that it was written was very unique. It was sarcastic, I'll give him that, but I like sarcasm. It was very unique, it was eye-catching, it really kept your attention. You know, in this day and age, it's kind of hard for people to read an entire review, an entire blog or article about anything, but I bet you my eyes stay glued to this the whole time. So from a writer's standpoint, it was absolutely brilliantly written, and I kind of mad at myself because I didn't think of that. So I think I have a thing or two to learn. And for those of you who do not know, the way that Pete Wells did this review is he wrote it in the form of questions. You know, I think there may have been just one statement in the entire review. It was in the form of questions, and people really thought that was very sarcastic. But from a writer's standpoint, I loved it, and I'm probably going to be using that. So just keep that in mind. All right. Now, the second thing I want to talk about is being a critic, being a reviewer. I am a food reviewer. I go to restaurants and I tell you, how it was. I go to events. I go to plays. I do a little bit of it all. I'm just a general all-in-all critic. Just going to tell you what went right and what was wrong. But you know what? What you need to realize is that it takes a very special person to be a critic. You have to have a very thick skin to be a critic because as people, generally speaking, we are very polite. We don't want to hurt anybody's feelings. So a lot of times, as a result of that, we don't tell the truth. And whenever you have a critic or a reviewer who actually does tell the truth, that the drink tasted like formaldehyde, that hurts people's feelings. People think, oh, you're so mean, you didn't have to say it like that. But if that's what the drink tasted like, then that's what the drink tasted like. People attack reviewers. I've been attacked as a reviewer because for telling the truth, basically. That's the way I see it. Telling the truth the way that I saw it. But people don't like to hurt other people's feelings. So in order to be a critic, you have to be very strong. You have to be willing and able to stand when other people just think that you're being mean or that you're being rude. You have to be extremely honest in order to be a critic. You can't sugarcoat it. I mean, you basically just have to say it the way that it is. Otherwise, you're not really being honest. The third point I want to make is that being a critic, in my opinion, is a service. It is a service to the restaurateur. It is a service to the moviegoer, the partygoer. It's a service. So I look at it that way. Whenever I sit down to write a review, it is my job. It is my pleasure to tell the truth. If I don't tell the truth, then how can you trust my word? If I said that an event or something was good, when you went and you know that it was bad, would you ever trust anything I said again? If I said the fried chicken is good when it tastes like rubber, would you ever trust my word again? So even though it's difficult, even though it's hard, and sometimes I don't want to, well, that's a lie. I enjoy telling the truth. So, I mean, if it's good or bad, I enjoy telling it. But sometimes I may I just wish the situation were better, but I have to tell the truth. It's my job. It is a service to tell the truth. And another reason why it's a service is because that gives the restaurateur or whomever an opportunity to improve. In this particular review, he outlines it. Pete Wells outlines exactly what the problem is. That is a roadmap for Guy Fieri to improve his restaurant. So he's in the news and he's saying that Pete Wells had a vendetta out against him. Really, in my opinion, it's a service. You know, you can take this and you can correct these things and your restaurant will immediately be a whole lot better. So, as I mentioned before, Guy Fieri is in the news saying that Pete Wells had an axe to grind, that there's something more behind it, simply because he went to his restaurant 4 times in the 2 months, short period of time that it's been open. Well, you better be glad he went 4 times. Those 4 times that was an opportunity for him to get better, for him to change his mind. Anytime I go to a restaurant and I'm not blown away by it, I don't write my review right away. I go at least another time to see if it's any kind of consistency, to try to give it an opportunity to get better. If it does not get better after having gone 2 or 3 times, that's probably pretty characteristic of that restaurant. So I don't think that he had an axe to grind by going 4 times. He was actually just giving him an opportunity to improve. So I posted a comment on Facebook asking this question: is there such a thing as a too harsh review? And I had a number of people respond, and most of the responses was yes. If they are just mean-spirited and just sarcastic, then yes. Someone even said, yes, it is too harsh, especially if you're criticizing something that you can't do. Are you serious? Are you serious? You mean to tell me because I can't make a movie that I shouldn't criticize it? Because I can't make an egg foo young or a filet mignon or whatever, that I should not criticize it? Are you serious? I completely disagree with that. Just because I can't make a film doesn't mean I don't know what a good film is. Just because I can't make the perfect steak does not mean I don't know what a perfect steak is. So I have to disagree with that. Personally, I don't think there's such a thing as a too harsh review. I think some reviews are just much better written than others, you know, so that you can really kind of feel the passion that the person is delivering. But personally, I don't think there's no such thing as a too harsh review. As long as you're not lying and as long as you're not attacking anyone personally. Now, if you're attacking someone personally, then that's a problem. But if otherwise, I don't think there's such a thing as a too harsh review. So, guys, I hope that gives you some insight on my life and Mr. Pete Wells' life as a critic. You know what? It ain't easy. It is not easy, but somebody's got to do it. And it may as well be me.